Finally back in California, working my way back to the PCT in Bakersfield, heading to the Sleep Inn. I'm waiting for my hiking partner to arrive at the airport, and then we will head out, get our packs, hopefully tomorrow somehow. So, logistics in and out are definitely not easy, depending on where you're at. And developed a little bit of a cold, but hopefully the sun and the hot air will clean that out. So, all right, keep you posted. Over and out.
Canceled last night. I didn't get a cancellation, or I didn't get a refund. But I guess it's what it is, and we'll figure it out. Pretty soon, we'll be hiking.
The trip on the bus from Bakersfield to Bishop was very interesting and relaxing. There's our bus driver. We saw a big truck that had dropped a bunch of watermelons and flipped over. Next thing you knew, I was getting shuttled up all the way top to the mountains, just like that, back on trail. Here are some great photographs of Kearsarge Pass, of where we jumped back on trail. You could see a lot of the snow had melted within the last 12 days, although we still had a considerable amount of snow on the ground. All right, there's Kearsarge Pass. Just got done getting up.
I was gonna do the exact same thing at camp, but
And,
intermittent.
and it's amazing just seeing, and I'll show some pictures here of what it looked like 12 days ago. All that was covered with snow, and it went right over this edge down, so pretty cool. It's melting like we liked it to. All right, here we're going down now. Beautiful lakes. All right, on Glenn's Pass on day 66 of the PCT through hike. Slept about a mile before the pass. Got about 1,000 feet to walk up, and on it right now. But check out what I'm in right now. Look at these beautiful carved granite peaks and rock formations. And there's a little glacial lake, little cirque, and getting up above 12,000 feet and at this pass. And as I think I mentioned before, each pass gets a little bit lower in elevation. Doesn't mean it's not as hard, just means elevation isn't as high. But I'm gonna put my phone away and get over this pass, heading up that way. All right, Rick Osborne Jr. with Geology Rocks, a Stillwater hiker, aka rock and roll on the PCT. All right, you know the old saying, what goes up comes down. So that's basically what I just came down. Still nice and early. Sun's about 9:15, and kept the mitral spikes on, even though we were scrambling over that rock outcrop. But that's just because this is still snow covered. But look at that. You could see people just starting where we were. Isn't that something? Looked like an ant when we were up there. Now they look like an ant down here. Oh, look at that beautiful U-shaped valley right there. All right. Upward and onward. There we go. Yeah. All right, just got down to Ray Lakes. This is just the beginning of it. Beautiful, beautiful High Sierra mountain lake. Trail seems to just sort of hug the shoreline, and we'll find a nice spot for lunch. Can you hear what I hear? Can you hear what I hear? 800 miles is done on the PCT. And here it is. Woo, baby. All right. On top of the big slides here. Day 67. PCT. Climbing up to Mount Pinchot Pass. Great night's sleep last night next to the stream here. But this is something that's, this basic water is sitting right on top of this granite outcrop. And it is nice and fast. All right, let's get it rolling. Over and out. All right, up ahead is Pinchot Pass. A little bit over 2 miles. Gradual, about 1,000 feet. But doing good, about 10 o'clock. Almost up there. Beautiful day. Sun's out. Look at that. That is the pass that we're looking for. Pinchot Pass. Pinchot Mountain, I think, right there. There's 3 hikers going up. You could see them right ahead of us. Over now. There's 2 more way up on top. You can see them. They're almost up there. All right. All right. On top of the world. Another pass. We basically got to the top of Pinchot Pass today. That's how beautiful it is. Now this next step is to start going down, basically that way. So 7.7 miles from camp. Left at 6:30. Got here at basically around 12:30, so 6 hours going up. 3,500 feet of elevation, and it wasn't easy. Now we're gonna start going down. That's always a little easier, but gotta watch out. There's still a lot of snow, so micro spikes so we can go on. All right, keep you posted. Day 67. Over now. All right, heading down. Going right down into that beautiful U-shaped valley right there. So I'll take a photo of the picture on top of the mountain. And then when I get down there, I'll shoot it back just to show you what's going on. All right, there's the video. Look at that. I was up and over that pass today. Whew. Hard to believe. I'm right next to this lake, Paradise Lake. All right, going over this rickety old bridge. It looks like it's seen better days. Look at that water. Didn't say don't go over it. Beautiful. All right, there's the middle King Fork River just pouring over this. Heading that way up to John Muir Pass. Beautiful Sunday. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this beautiful day. Keep on cranking. All right, look at this beautiful geology. Sun's coming down. Got that nice little arete right there in the High Sierra on the Pacific Crest Trail. Look at all this beautiful, beautiful outcrops of granite and the such. Beautiful streams. You can see the glacial or the snow melt coming down into this awesome pond right here. Good morning. Day 70. And I'm gonna give you a picture of what I listened to all night. Sounded like running water. And that's what it is. Look at that waterfall right there. So it's about 5:40. Got up early, couldn't sleep. The altitude definitely has a play with your sleeping. Woke up all sweaty at about 10. And had to go to the bathroom, but dehydration, insomnia, all comes to play when you're working with these elevations, which is about 12,000 feet. So I'm gonna get up and over and then get down back to 8. But it's a 21-mile day. We want to go all the way to the bottom of the mountain. Hitting John Muir Pass, over and out. 3/4 of a mile left to the summit. You can see a couple hikers right there going up. Boot track's been great. Micro spikes have not gone on yet, but I'm sure they will once I start going down the other side. Nice little campsite right here. Look at that. Hey, Six.
Morning.
Morning.
Did you write that? Someone who reads that is going to be looking for you.
Well, if you want to see some really cool glaciation at its finest, take a look how they have smoothed over all of these granite formations here. As the glacier retreated, came on down. Boy, oh boy, look at that. Big U-shaped valley. All right, as the king of evolution, Charles Darwin is out here naming these creeks and streams, and this happens to be Evolution Falls. Unbelievable, so awesome. Look at all that water, love it. All right, Here is the PCT trail. Got about 6 miles to the next big pass, Sheldon. And I want to go check out John Muir Ranch, which is down here by Florence Lake, which is about 1.3 down. Then we got to come back up, of course, whenever we're done. But there's hot springs down there, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Cool. All right, just came out of Sheldon, or going up to Sheldon Pass. Just came out of the wooded area. You could start, we're just about up to 10,000 feet. Nice climb out of Muir Ranch, John Muir Ranch. And just getting some beautiful views. Later. Well, dinner in the tent tonight. That's my view as the sun sets. It's almost 8 o'clock. Day 71 on the PCT. The bugs are out. And couldn't stand it. Had to get inside the tent. But beautiful view. Got a beautiful meal. Ramen. Made a little mistake with the cold soaking the noodles for the Kraft macaroni and cheese, and they've turned into mush. So we cooked it all up, put it in the bowl, put the cheese in, and it is delicious. All right, thanks for watching. Over and out on day 71.